Just a quick video here to show how I paint these concrete steps. So using a good floor paint, I'm using Sico's floor paint. I find it works really good for this application. I've used this paint in lots of basements and garages, so I know that it's very durable and long lasting. So that's good to make sure that you use something that's going to last. You don't want to have to be redoing this all the time. A few tips: you just want to make sure that the surface is clean of any debris. I wouldn't use any harsh chemicals, but just give it a good vacuum. And if you do have some stubborn spots, just make sure you clean them up with some warm water on a rag, or just a very light chemical that you want to make sure that is all cleaned off after you use it. For most applications, it'll be not that big a deal and won't have to do too much cleaning. Now the concrete is going to absorb quite a bit of this paint. It always does, especially on the first coat. So you want to just make sure you get enough paint. So I'm using a 2.5 inch brush to apply or to do the cutting around the edges. Really makes it a lot nicer, a lot cleaner to paint the concrete. So I've done there so far, and I'm just going to make my way down the steps. You want to make sure to give it enough time to dry, and also be aware of the humidity level. It wouldn't hurt if you are using this in a basement to make sure that the dehumidifier is running and that the concrete doesn't have any moisture in it, because if there's moisture in it, it's going to have to escape, and that's when you're going to have the paint flaking off and it's not going to look good. So just make sure it's nice and dry. One little tip you can do is just put some tape on it, leave it for overnight. If the tape is still on in the morning, then it's a good sign that there's no moisture, or not very much moisture, in the concrete. So before I get too far, I'm going to just do some of the rolling. You just want to get a nice even coat on the surface. Be cautious of any paint runs over the edges. But a 10 mil roller sleeve is a good thickness for something like this. If the surface is really uneven, a 15 mil might be better, but a 10 should be good enough. That way you're not going to put on too much either. You don't want to load it on, because you're going to put 2 coats in total. And obviously giving it enough time for drying in between. So I'm just going to finish this up.